Hi everybody, welcome to Yoga with Lena. I am Lena, this is Nikki, and in today's class I'll be showing you 6 poses that are my favorite ones to do during the PMS period. And apologies to the male subscribers. You're more than welcome to do the same very poses because they still will loosen up certain muscles in our body and they can have a great effect on how you feel in a positive way. But as far as the PMS period, if you're anything like me, you still like to do things, you still like to be active, but there's different levels of activity that we can put ourselves through. And during the PMS, the tendency is that we need to be more respectful of the body. We need to kind of accept that our energy is just low and we can play around with what's available. You may need a pillow for this class, you may need a blanket to cover yourself with towards the end. So let us start. I like to wear loose clothes, not just for practice but during these days. So feel free to put something super comfortable and meet me on the mat or not. You don't have to practice on the mat, remember that too. So the first pose we'll do is called cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana. We're going to sit by placing the soles of the feet to touch and open the knees out to the side. Now here it might be a good idea to sit on something like a block. I'll do it on a block. You can be sitting on a pillow, 2 pillows, whatever's most comfy. Let the knees fall out to the side. And also for this pose, you can place blocks under your thighs to support your thighs. We're gonna stay here for a few moments. Your hands can be resting on your inner leg, on your knees, whatever again is most comfortable for you. Let your shoulders relax. And you can close your eyes here. And when it comes to doing the poses that we're about to do, this is one of them. So usually I talk about finding balance between effort and ease. This is essentially what yoga is about, on the mat and off the mat. For today's class, I invite you to work more towards ease, seek ease anyway. So be gentle, leaving the efforts to the side. Try and keep your spine upright. We're going to hold it for a few more moments. So opening through the groin, through the hips, and it may feel a little bit intense. That's why having blocks to support you might be quite useful. With time you can remove those. But see where you notice the pose. And ideally there isn't any weight that you're holding onto. So you're trying to release your knees towards the floor. Maybe it means you bring your feet a little bit further forward. Maybe you bring them a little bit closer. Really, guys, in all honesty, it makes life a little bit more complicated, but it's worth working in such a way that we try and find things that work best for us. I'm happy to guide you through every single moment of this journey. But essentially, it is our responsibility, every practitioner's responsibility, to find what's best for them, for their bodies. And there isn't anyone who can tell you otherwise. So there isn't really right or wrong way of doing pose. There is the right way for you, and only you know that. It takes time to get to know our body, to become sensitive enough to then adjust accordingly. But once you get there, it's so much worth it. So hopefully while I'm talking here, you're sitting and breathing, trying to relax through your shoulders, your facial features. And then to come up, I invite you to help with your hands and bring the knees back up. You can bring the feet a little bit further forward, knees pointing up, and you can remove your block or still have it. Fold towards your legs. Relax your head and neck and stay here for a few breaths, releasing any tension from your shoulders. The second pose we'll be doing is head to knee, otherwise known as Janushirasana. So we'll do it in the following way. Extend your right leg forward and bend your left knee. Then bring your left foot to the inside of your right leg. And here you've got a few options. I'll give you these options and then you'll hopefully find the one that works best for you. You can sit up on something if you feel that you're rolling backwards. You can have your right knee bent, and this can be useful in order to keep your spine upright. And all we'll do, no force, no nothing, we'll fold towards the leg. So you roll your spine down. You walk your hands a little bit further forward and you'll relax your head. Another option here is to place something between your thigh and your chest and fold forward this way. Your hands can be resting on the floor. You can rest them on your leg if it's comfortable. Breathe into your back body. So try and send your breath awareness into the back of your body. And this is something that not everyone gets straight away. Again, we're here to learn. We don't have to get everything just like that. Otherwise we would run out of things to learn. But by breathing into your back body, you are helping your rib cage to expand, and all those joints and muscles in that region are loosening up. And we don't tend to breathe into our back body often or ever, really. So I really use this opportunity to try and breathe in such a way. And our breath it's three-dimensional. So when we inhale, the ribs expand forward, sideways, and to the back. And usually the area where we breathe less, as I was saying, is the back body. So we're trying to expand the rib cage at the back. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then you'll walk your hands towards your hips, bring the spine upright, and we'll change sides. You'll extend your left leg, you'll bend your right knee and let it slowly move towards the right. You could be also placing a block under your hip here. So same very options you have on this side. I'm going to do the same on this side as well. I know I'm a bit tighter on this side, so I'll fold my blanket this way, and then I'll start rolling my spine forward towards the leg, relaxing my head and neck. And if my hands can walk further forward, then I will, but in my case I choose to stay them here. And now we'll stay here for a few moments, trying to breathe into the back body, noticing sensations that come with this pose. And looking to be gentle with ourselves. Looking to be still, even in the presence of discomfort. And the idea is that through practicing these poses and holding them still and being kind of cool with this, we then use the skills that we cultivate during our yoga practice into our daily life. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's stay for a couple more breaths. Nice and slow, in through your nose and out through your nose. One more round. And then you're going to walk your hands towards your hips and come back up. Ready for our third pose. I'll give you a few options there as well. So some of you, my lovely friends, will sit with the legs out wide. And everybody's wide will be different. The same idea here. If you bring your legs out wide and you start rolling backwards, then either sit on something or simply bend the knees, and you can bring your hands onto your thighs and stay here. And this is quite a nice opening for our hips and groins still. Some of those ladies who are a bit more open can come into this shape. Stay on your forearms. And if you've got a bolster or a blanket, you can place it on the floor and then kind of roll against it and allow it to support you here. If it becomes too strong, you can always bend the knees a bit. You can relax your head and neck. Here, I'm not going to do so because otherwise my mic, you won't be able to hear me. So I'll stay this way, but you feel free to bring the chin towards the chest and stay in the presence of your breath here. Looking to breathe smoothly, smoothing out every inhale and exhale. And here as well, we can try and do the same very thing and breathe into our back ribs. See how you get on. It might be getting a little bit easier. It might not be not. Just be mindful of that, the tendency is that the more we do something, the easier it gets, but sometimes just things take time, right? And that's cool. An example I like to give is when we were born, we weren't able to walk, we weren't able to speak, we weren't able to really do anything other than cry and eat and sleep. So we learned how to walk, learned how to talk, we learned how to use our limbs. But walking took some time, right? We were crawling, sitting, then coming up eventually, and many falls along the way. Stay for a couple more breaths here, relaxing your jaw, releasing any tension from your beautiful face. And then use your hands to bring your spine back up to vertical. How you guys doing? Hopefully you're enjoying this. We're halfway, and the fourth pose will be Paschimottanasana. I'll tell you a secret, it's my least favorite pose. But any pose can be modified so that we like it maybe a little bit more, and so that, sensations as we do it don't become too overwhelming. And we're going to do it in a modified way with knees bent. And here, same thing. You can place your blanket onto your thighs, and I'm going to invite you to roll forward, relax your head and neck, and bring your hands towards the floor on either side of your legs. And stay here. Some of you are maybe more open than others. So those people will start pressing their heels forward and looking to straighten the legs a little bit. But guys, the idea for the purposes that we're doing is not to straighten the legs fully. The idea is to have this contact between your thighs and the belly all along. And if you need to roll this a little bit more, then you do so. And try and breathe into your back body yet again, relaxing your head and neck. So by doing this pose in such a way where our knees are bent, we take this pressure off our hamstrings, and we focus a bit more on opening the back of our body, the lower back especially. And the lower back, I don't know about you guys, but for me during this period can be quite a fragile area. So loosening the tissues around that region can be so beneficial. Take a few more smooth breaths. Keep them soft, don't force your breath. And then use your hands yet again to press yourself back up to vertical spine. Right. 2 more poses left to go. The last but one is going to be a supported bridge. So come to lying on your back. And if you have a block, then you can use a block, but you can also use one of your blankets for some height. So your knees will be bent, feet flat on the floor, about hips distance apart. I'm going to press into my feet, raise my hips a bit, and you've got 3 heights here with the block, right? Lowest, a bit higher, and the highest. I'll do the middle one and see how I get on. So I'm gonna place this underneath my sacrum, not the low back, the sacrum, the little triangle. So it's lower the lower back. And I'm going to reach my arms out into a cactus shape. And I'm gonna stay here. Some of you maybe will prefer to bring the block onto, actually I did it on a lower setting. I said I'll do the one in the middle, so this is the one in the middle. So some of you maybe will place it even higher. For me, that wasn't quite comfy right now, so I'm keeping it there. Remember, it's this sacrum where the block is. Now try and soften as best you can. Release any tension from your face. Soften your jaw. Relax your forehead. Keep your glutes relaxed. So your sacrum is supported, your glutes can fully relax. Keep your belly soft as well. Observe your breath, any sensations. One of the phrases I quite like to use is notice what you notice. And when we are given this opportunity to notice what we notice, then any observation is a valid one. It's not something that we are looking to notice, something that we simply notice. And if you're confused, that is also an observation. So if you are aware of the fact you are confused, that is cool, guys. My teacher's teacher used to say, recognizing confusion is a form of clarity. I think it's so cool. My teacher is Leslie Kaminoff, and his teacher was Dizikachar. Stay for one more breath. To come out, you're going to press into your feet again and lift your hips a little bit higher. Remove your block and slowly bring your spine and sacrum back down. You can pause here for a moment. You can draw your knees towards your chest and do a few rocks from side to side. Okay, keep your shoulders on the floor, keep your head on the floor. So the pose we did seated to start with, we're going to do it in a lying down position. You're going to bring the soles of your feet to touch and let the knees fall out to the side. If you've got blocks or something, you can place them under your thighs. And if when you're in this pose you feel your lower back is arching excessively, then bring your feet further forward and see what that does. So have a little bit of a gap between your lower back and the mat, but don't keep this excessive arch. We're trying to loosen our lower back and not to compress it. In terms of arms, you can keep your hands on your belly. You can place something under your head if it feels nice. So you have that nice soft support. Your arms can be out to the side in a T, tango, or a cactus. I'm going to keep mine as a little bit of a cactus shape. I'm going to close my eyes and I invite you to do the same. Last pose. Notice what you notice. Soften your breath. And release any tension you might be holding. So sometimes it helps to do a quick body scan. If it feels so amazing you want to stay here longer, feel free to do so. Those of you lovely ladies who are coming out, you can use your hands to help your knees back up. Do so slowly. Pause. And then our lovely Shavasana. So you can extend the legs forward and have them as wide as the mat or even wider. So find that comfort. You can cover yourself with a blanket. And I invite you to stay here for as long as you need to. I hope this practice was enjoyable. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below, or any feedback you want to leave. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and namaste.